Anthony D. Tassinari was a legendary football coach at Amesbury High School from 1943 until 1955. He played football for Salem High School and then went on to play and graduate from Boston College. He came to Amesbury in the spring of 1943 to teach physical education. In later years, he was a mathematics teacher. For the 1943 to 1944 school year, he was the head football, basketball, and baseball coach, and the athletic director. When did this man sleep? Tassinari was the head coach of basketball from 1943 until the end of the 1951 season. His 1944 and 1951 teams were very good as they were in contention for the Northeast Conference NEC League title. After the 1951 season, he stepped down and Bikes Wallace became the new coach. Coach Tassinari was the head baseball coach throughout his career at AHS. The 1948 and 51 teams were NEC co-champions. The 1951 team averaged 9.2 runs per game, a record that still stands today. The sport that Coach Tassinari is most remembered for is football. He is considered the best coach in the history of AHS football. Taz was feared, respected, and loved by his players. Former player Sam Porky May commented, "Coach Taz was onto everything. He was smart. He was just a great coach and a fine man." In 13 years of coaching football, his record was 74 wins, 41 losses, and 4 ties. The 1944, 45, 51, 52, and 53 teams were NEC League champions. The 1952 team was the Massachusetts Class C state champions. Former player Mike Lago commented, "Taz was a great believer that you play on Saturdays as you practice during the week. We could see the wisdom of his leadership and we believed in him. He was a great coach." From September 30th, 1950 until October 24th, 1953, Coach Tassinari's football teams had an amazing streak of 30 games without a loss. This is the longest winning streak in the history of AHS football. Former player Larry Moran commented, "When you're winning games, you can't help but being happy. We were winning games because our coach was a believer in conditioning and he was innovative. He worked us hard in practice and he was very smart, knowing what needed to be done to beat our opponent. Yes, he was tough, but we, as a team, looked up to him and respected him as a coach and as a father figure." Coach Tassinari was inducted into the Massachusetts Football Coaches Hall of Fame in 1986. Besides being a coach and a teacher, Tony Tassinari was very active and well respected in the community. He was a member of the Amesbury Planning Board, Precinct 4 representative, a member of St. Joseph's Church, and most importantly, a devoted father. People looked up to him. Dave Bailey, former football coach and athletic director, recalls living across the river from Landry Stadium when he was about 5 years old. You could hear the sounds of the games on Saturday afternoon, and I would dream about playing in the stadium for the great Coach Tassinari someday. Unfortunately, Coach Tassinari died at the age of 38 of a chronic heart condition on November 27, 1955. This was a very sad day in Amesbury history. In 1956, the gymnasium at the now Amesbury Middle School was named the Tassinari Memorial Gym in his honor. Congratulations to Coach Anthony D. Tassinari.
Representing Coach Tassinari is his daughter Nina. The presenters, her brother Chuck Tassinari and Doug Wood.
On behalf of our dad, Mary, Susan, Elizabeth, Chuck, our nieces and nephews, brother-in-law Jim, and cousins, I'd like to thank the committee for naming Anthony D. Tassinari into Amesbury's first Hall of Honor, Athletic Hall of Honor, along with the other inductees. We were super excited when we saw two of Dad's players, Tino Bertolini and Larry Moran. Leo Dupree, and by the way, I know every one of these people, and I've taught some. Oh, Larry Moran, Leo Dupree, Jerry Mondalto, Nancy Klein, Ham Gleason Holt, Joey DeRoche, and Christy Gleason. We congratulate each of you. What made our dad so successful? First, we truly believe his greatest success was marrying Elizabeth Birkinshaw. She was a woman like Dad who believed in a strong sense of faith, family, and a commitment to your community. She was his greatest cheerleader and sang his praises, but she too kept him grounded through pointing out his mistakes and to us his human frailties. She spent 38 years loving this man, and she survived him, and her very last word spoken was, "Oh, Tass." She's looking down upon this ceremony with our brother Anthony, who just passed away, and both of them are bursting with pride about this honor. Each Thanksgiving, regardless of their faith, Dad insisted upon his team to attend service because his belief, we all pray to the same higher power. Maybe this is why he was so successful. It was an inside job. Like the other inductees, Dad was the hardest on himself, whether it was a win or a loss. He was often heard saying, "I could have and should have done it this way better." He often showed his players how to tackle, run, fake, by actually getting into practice with his players. Dad was about fair play and sportsmanship, and would bench even his better players if they disrespected other players, coaches, and referees. Even the infamous 99-6 game against Newburyport, which I saw in Larry Moran's video, Dad did not want to run the score. Dad went to Newburyport's coach at halftime to call the game. Newburyport's coach told our dad to run his team to the ground because his players were in no shape to play the game. Dad put in his freshman team the entire second half. He treated his players as an extension to his family. He fed them spaghetti dinners, tutored them to maintain their grades. He strapped them, soaked sprains in hot and cold water, and counseled them when things were not going right at home. He stressed good grades and was truly proud and respectful of his players. Our dad wrote many a recommendation for his players to further their education and was just so excited as they were upon their acceptance. Our family is honored with this induction from the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, and I'd like to personally thank Gail Kelleher, Kathy Mamakos, Dave Bailey, Steve Bastine, William Burnham, Tim Hoyt, Richard Peake, David Randall, and Sam Wilmot. And Sam especially because he took many a call from us. And he was very nice in getting back to us. Job well done. Doug Wood for his idea in 1990, and the Provident Bank for its continued support of this program. A final reflection. Our brother Anthony stated at the 1986 induction of our dad into the Massachusetts High School Football Hall of Fame, "I was awestruck at my dad's ability to mold young men out of boys." We thank you again.